What's going on, everybody? Todd here. Today we're going to install the ROB running boards from Romik on this 2022 Tundra Crewmax. The tools I'll be using for this installation are a ratchet with 12 and 13 millimeter sockets, an electric impact driver, and a 12 and 13 millimeter wrench. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, here we are on the driver's side underneath the truck. We're actually just behind the front tire. As you follow back on the rocker panel, you're going to find a couple of bolts from the factory in the bottom of the rocker panel. What we're going to do for right now is pull both of those bolts out using a 12 millimeter. All right, next in your kit, you're going to locate your driver's side front bracket. Now, this is what that bracket is going to look like. It's going to fit right up into place like so. This portion of the bracket is going to be facing towards the front of the vehicle. And also, it'll be bent to where it's coming to the inside of the vehicle as well. What we're going to do is we're going to put that back up in place with the factory hardware, and we're going to get it snug for right now, but we're not going to tighten it down just yet. Okay, now here is the lower portion of the front bracket. Now this is going to be different from all the rest of the lower portions on the next brackets. So this part is going to be facing towards the rear of the vehicle. The foot is going to be bent to face towards the front of the vehicle. There's also 4 sets of holes to line up with these holes right here. So based on how far you want the drop to go, you're going to line up whichever set you would like. Now they are in 1-inch increments. So this is our standard drop, and you can go an inch down at a time. And we've got hardware to set that together. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it at the standard height. So we're going to take a serrated flange bolt, go through on both of these holes. And on the back side, we're going to use serrated flange nuts to fasten that hardware together. And we're just going to put that on there finger tight for right now. We'll go back and tighten it up when we align the running board. All right, now as we come back along the rocker panel, we're going to come to another set of factory installed bolts. This is going to be our second bracket location. Now all 3 of our remaining brackets are exactly the same, and they install the exact same way. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first step is to remove the factory bolts using a 12 millimeter. Okay, this is what our first bracket is going to look like. It's going to come straight down. This portion is going to be bent to face towards the front of the vehicle, and also it's kind of facing towards the inside of the vehicle, not facing outside the vehicle. We're going to use the factory hardware and put that in finger tight for right now. Okay, so here is the bottom bracket half for the 3 rear brackets. As you can see, this portion is going to be facing towards the rear of the vehicle, as well as the foot of the bracket is also going to be facing towards the rear of the vehicle. Again, it has 4 locations. We want to make sure that all of our brackets are set to the same height. So we're going to the standard drop height. So on this one, we're going to go ahead and put our 2 serrated flange bolts into the bracket. And then line it up to the holes on the bracket, and again, install the hardware onto the bolts. Just finger tight for this time. Repeat the same process on the next 2 brackets back. Okay, now that we have all 4 brackets loosely assembled, we're going to go ahead and temporarily snug them in place. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to set a level on top of here and bring it up and get it about level, and just tighten up one of those bolts. We're going to do that to all 4 brackets. Okay, now if you have an ROF, RPD, or ROL running board, I'm going to show you how to do that installation right here. Now I've already got one of the boards flipped upside down. Inside, you're going to see some plates that slide back and forth inside a track. You're going to have a total of 4 plates. Each one of those 4 plates are going to be prepped the same way. I'm going to show you how to do this one. Okay, so here is our clamp plate that we're going to focus on first. We've also got a secondary clamp plate that's going to go right over top of it and line up. From the bottom, we're going to take a carriage bolt and slide it into the 2 clamp plates, and then turn that carriage bolt to make sure it's seated all the way up in there. And then we're going to take one of our retaining clips and then slide it down onto that carriage bolt. All right, we're going to do the same thing with another carriage bolt on the opposite side. All right, and just repeat the same process for the other 3 clamp plates. All right, we're going to go ahead and set the running board down onto the brackets. Now, once we get the running board set on the brackets, what we're going to do is line up our clamp plates to the brackets. So what we want to do is raise up the clamp plate, or raise up the board from the bracket, slide the clamp plate, and then get that lined up to the open slot. Make sure you line up all 4 of them before you go any further. Once all 4 of them are lined up, we're going to go ahead and make sure the bolts are slid together where we get good engagement onto the bracket, and then go ahead and put on our serrated flange nuts and tighten them down with a 13mm. All right, repeat the same for all the rest of the brackets, tightening them down to the running board. All right, next we're going to go ahead and move back to this hardware right here. We're going to use a 13mm on each side and go ahead and snug this up. And repeat the same for the remaining brackets. All right, now we can go ahead and tighten down the factory hardware to the truck using a 12mm. All right, repeat the same on the remaining brackets. Okay, so we repeated the same process on the opposite side. Everything's just a mirror image, and that concludes the installation. If you found this video helpful, make sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online at RealTruck.com.